Hello, my name's Mary English. Welcome back to Mary, Learn Astrology with Mary. And I'm a professional astrologer working in private practice in the UK. And I see clients via Skype or telephone or face-to-face or by post. Most of my clients I meet face-to-face or Skype. That's the two major ways that I work with clients. And last week we were talking about retrograde planets, and since I'm just about to publish a book called The Astrology of Lovers, which is coming out in a few weeks' time, so there'll be a few plugs for that. I thought I'd talk a bit more about relationships, because that's probably one of the major things that people will want to consult an astrologer about. Like, I'm not in a relationship, when is one going to happen? Or I'm in a relationship and it's not working, what should I do? Or I'm having an affair, that's a rather popular one. And so I thought today we would use the charts for Donald Trump, because he's always in the news, and if he's in the news he's going to make himself get into the news, and his Mrs. Melania Trump, because they must be the two most uncompatible people I've ever checked the astrology for. So Lord knows why they're married. That's for them to work out. Anyway, so what have they got that's in common, and what have they got that's different? So you can get their data by going to Astro Data Bank. Both of their charts are up there. Now, Donald Trump's chart is completely accurate. They have his birth certificate. They know what time he's born. So he's what we call a double A rating. But Melania, no one has any idea what time of day she was born. She's not told anybody. I don't know if anybody's even asked her. They might have done, because sometimes they'll say on Astro Data Bank if somebody's approached and they haven't got the answer. So the chart they've made there, they've used 12 o'clock lunchtime. And she was born on the 26th of April 1970 in Novo Mesto in Slovenia. I think that's right. SL is for Slovenia. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, she's got a whole bundle of planets in Taurus. And you think, now what is a Gemini? Which is what Mr. Trump is. What the heck is he doing hanging about with, let alone marrying a Taurus, when he has absolutely nothing in Taurus? I mean, he has nothing in Taurus. No planets, that is, and moon in Sagittarius and a Leo ascendant. Well, Melania, interestingly, all of her planets, because they're in Taurus, Donald's MC, the highest point of his chart, the sort of career part of his chart, is in the sign of Taurus. So all of her planets will be conjuncting that section of his chart. So we could say that him marrying her, he did it so that it would help his career and help him have a better face to the world, because the MC is how other people see you. So I would expect that he was making the decision to marry her based on how other people would see her, because she's a very beautiful lady, there's no doubt about that. And what did I notice earlier that was interesting? She has Mars in the sign of Gemini, 5 degrees Gemini, and Mr. Trump has his sun sign 22 degrees Gemini. So it isn't even if her Mars is anywhere conjunct to his sun sign, but at least they're in the same sign, so they'll have similar energy levels. And so his Uranus is 17 degrees and her Mars is only 5 degrees. No, that's not even conjunct either. But her Mars will fall into his 10th house of career. So yeah, it's quite a business marriage, I think is the way you could describe it. And I don't think there's anything else that's in the same signs. I mean, at 12 o'clock the moon's gone into Capricorn. If she was born very early in the morning, she might have moon in Sagittarius, and Donald has moon in Sagittarius, so that might be, that they've got the same sort of emotional components. And Melania has Neptune 0 degrees into Sagittarius, and Donald's moon, but that's very, very late degrees, it's 29 degrees into the sign of Sagittarius with his moon. So there's not even a conjunction between that. I think she's got a planet in Libra and he has. She's got Uranus in Libra and he has Jupiter in Libra. 51 degrees, 17 degrees. Nope, they're not conjunct either. Blimey, there's nothing much that's joining their charts, is there? She's got Jupiter in Scorpio. He has nothing in Scorpio. Yeah, so if you want to see, if you want to check out an example of a couple that are married and they have nothing in common, then please check out Melania and Donald's birth charts on Astro Databank. Now, because we don't know what time she's born, we don't know what ascendant she has. And judging that she's not still living in her country of birth and she has travelled considerably with her career before she got married, and she probably travels quite a lot now, she possibly has a Sagittarius ascendant, because they do like travel and foreign connections and blah 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 blah. So possibly she has a Sagittarius ascendant, which would appeal to Donald, because he's got a Leo ascendant. So maybe they've got compatible ascendances, so we don't know. But isn't it funny, when you strip away the ascendant, you just look at the planets, how uncompatible the pair of them are, which won't help any long-term relationship. And she'd be the one that would decide if the relationship wasn't going to happen, because Taurus are very fixed in their opinions and whatever. I mean, I could quite imagine Donald getting married every other day of the week if he could, because he's got Uranus conjunct Sun. He's not really into longevity, he's just into whatever's new and different. So it's more a question of how long would she put up with him. Previous wives haven't put up with him for very long. Oh, she's got something in Virgo. Has he got anything in Virgo? No, nothing in Virgo. So when you're looking at your chart and somebody else's, to your compatibilities, do always look at the ascendant first, because that'll be the initial attraction. So if your ascendants are both in fire signs, then your initial attraction will be pretty fast. If they're one person's air and the other person's fire, again the initial attraction will be swift. If the two of your ascendant signs are in air, there'll be an awful lot of discussion and chat and views and opinions and ideas going on first meeting. If it's in earth sign, your ascendants are earth signs, both of you, then your relationship will be very, very slow to kick off, and you'd have to feel safe and secure. And if it's water signs, there'll just be sort of lots of emotion, and earth and water together is the same type of thing. Now, if your ascendants are completely incompatible, it's unlikely that your relationship would even get off the ground unless you're communicating via email or a website, or like a dating website, because then your ascendant, which is basically the way you project yourself, isn't going to be visible to the other person and then get to know you maybe in a different way. So if you are dating online, keep in mind that you could probably be very compatible on paper, and then you'll meet them and you go, oh, there's no attraction, because the ascendant's important to get the relationship off the ground, so to speak. Obviously, sun signs need to be compatible. They need to be in similar elements or complementary elements, and the same goes for the moon. And in fact, I consider the moon to be more important sometimes than the sun sign, because the sun sign can put up quite a bit, but the moon can't. The moon really does need to be supported. Mercuries that are compatible are helpful too, and if you want marriage made in heaven, you need a Venus and Mars conjunction. So the woman's Mars needs to conjunct the man's Venus. That's in a normal heterosexual relationship. It would be different in a homosexual relationship or any other type of relationship, but a traditional heterosexual relationship, the woman's Mars, if it conjuncts the man's Venus, then that's sort of all singing, all dancing. Now, I did spend an amount of time studying gay women's charts to see if there was anything there that made their attractions to each other any different, and actually it doesn't. I haven't studied too many gay men, so if you are a gay man, do get in contact. But gay women, the ascendant and the sun signs need to be compatible, otherwise, again, the relationship's just never going to happen. Now, for longevity, for your relationship to last for any length of time, have a look at Saturn. Is that in a complementary sign to the other person's Saturn? I have found that if your Saturns are in different signs, and Saturn takes 2 years to change signs. So if somebody's within 2 years of your age, then you'll agree about how to bring the kiddies up. If your Saturns are in different signs, there'll be an awful lot of discussion and disagreement about how to look after, care, sort of nurture your child, because Saturn's like the responsibility planet. And if your sense of responsibility is different to your partner's, there will come to be disagreements about child rearing. So that's just a quick little skip around what to look for or what to consider in a relationship. Initially, it's always going to be the ascendant, but if your sun signs are incompatible, that ascending attraction will eventually wear away. It might not wear away today or tomorrow, it might take 50, 60 years, but it won't keep you truly together if it's just your ascendants that are holding the relationship together, unless it all depends what your attitude towards relationships is your attitude towards relationships is. But yeah, that's right, I've got to use the right grammar. So we've talked about synastry charts and composite charts. But this is just to highlight for you. No, I've given you, I'm sorry, maybe that's a daft thing to do. I've given you 2 charts of people that are so incompatible, it's amazing that they are actually married. But then you can sort of work back from that. If that's the worst that relationship could be, what are the best? Maybe the relationship I'm in or the one that I'd like to be in could be marvelous in comparison. So there we go. That's a little bit about what to look for in relationships. As I've mentioned before, I do teach astrology. I teach it one-on-one. I used to teach it as classes. I don't do that now. I find I prefer it doing one-to-one. It's far more fun. We can explore a lot of different things about your chart and really get to know it. And just send me an email if you'd like to know more details. It's only £25 per lesson, and it lasts 6 weeks, so it's not a vast amount of time. It's not an enormous amount of money, but you will learn enough astrology to be able to, look at a chart and not go, what's this? And hopefully you've gained a bit of confidence already now by listening to these podcasts. Do go back to the early ones if this is your first listen today, because I can't tell you everything about astrology in one podcast. You'll have to go back to beginning ones. And next week I'm going to do a bit of a recap and a review, and just check that you've understood as much as we've covered so far. So do have a fab week, and I'll be back soon. Bye bye now.